Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back.
We're here.
We are here. We are here at our remote location
We are
studio.
in our remote studios,
Well, we will not
coming to you
reveal.
live at the Helm with Kelly and Wayne. I am Kelly.
And I am Wayne. So we are glad to be here this evening. We're glad to have everyone back this evening. Um, Everybody I know is dealing with the news, watching the news of the 34 guilty charges, um, and all guilty on all 34. So we are celebrating. I don't even know if you want to celebrate that, but it's going on anyway.
Yes,
That is
it's a sad day.
Yeah, that is the talk.
But we do like to see that the justice system works, that no one is above the law,
Yes.
and this is what happens. So now we figure out if you are a convicted felon, can you vote for yourself?
Yeah, how can you have your name on the ballot but you can't even vote for yourself?
Does that
Ain't
work?
that ironic?
I don't know. But,
Yeah. And I know social media is going crazy.
And just so we're clear, the guilty verdict does not keep him out of the White House. Feet and votes do. So I
Yes.
hope we keep that in mind.
So we still need to vote. And all of the people that are calling this a witch hunt, I just want to know where all the locker up people were from 2016 when we were talking about emails. They were ready to put somebody in jail forever. So, but again, it's the world we live in and what we have to deal with on a regular basis. So we are, going to deal with that, and we're going to have to contend with this over the next couple months. I think sentencing is set for July, but there will be appeals and there will be a whole lot of other things going on. Since we're in the political realm, since we're there, let me share with you just a little bit of, again, what is happening down at our General Assembly on Jones Street in Raleigh. They're continuing to defund public education and early childhood education. There was some early childhood educators were downtown last Wednesday. It was beautiful. Shout out to all of those who showed up to challenge the General Assembly to fund early childhood education. We are still battling that. They do not want to do it. They have all of this money. They want to give another 400 million. They've already given probably about that much or more already to these private school vouchers. They want to give 400 million more and do not want to fund early childhood education. And if they do not fund early childhood education by the end of June 30th, over 1,800 children could be out of daycare. All of these, and these are the smaller daycares, the smaller, not the big chains, but the smaller daycare centers and systems and the family owned daycare centers that will potentially be losing funding. And then, when they lose funding, then you have to get people who are not qualified to watch children. But these are the people who say they are pro life and care about children and want the best for children and, all of that. But then they don't want to fund early childhood education to make sure they have opportunities to learn and to be in safe environments while people go to work. People who need childcare while they go to work. So as we continue, find someone, call your legislators, call these people, and let us continue to demand for those who are available. June the 12th at 11 o'clock, June 12th, 11 o'clock. I think that is next Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken. Not next Wednesday, but the Wednesday after the second Wednesday. But it is June the 12th at 11 o'clock. We will be having a Witness Wednesday. The Poor People's Campaign and partners, multiple partners, will be down on Wednesday in front of the General Assembly, again, demanding to remove this evil policies that they are putting in place. And it's not just that, they are continuing to force sheriff departments in this HB 10 to work with ICE to terrorize immigrant communities. They're forcing this on sheriff departments that do not want to do it, putting them in position that they do not want to be in to work with ICE again And basically, this is just to terrorize immigrant communities. So HB 10, this early childhood care, there's just so much other egregious stuff that this General Assembly is doing. Too many to be numbered. But again, if you have time to stand, to be a body, to sacrifice your presence for a day, join us June the 12th at 11 a.m. in the General Assembly, where we will be there. Because when these policies begin to hurt one of us, they hurt all of us. So we need to stand together. Do not allow them to divide us anymore with these culture wars. Not allow them to divide us and separate us, because what impacts one impacts us all. And we will not be silent anymore. We're going to continue to stand, fight, and be noisy and be loud and be disruptive. But we're going to be peaceful. But we are going to make some noise to let them know and to let people know. I don't think a lot of people know really what they are doing. Because they gloss over, and the media don't cover this. The media just covers, they did a budget and the budget passed and they want to give teachers a 6% raise.
We expanded Medicaid.
But what they won't tell you, if these things are not put in place, and if they want to take away. So this Medicaid expansion was wonderful, and there was thousands and thousands of people who got Medicaid expansion.
10 years too late.
10 years too late. They could have done it with a vote a long time ago. But if they do not continue to fund health care, all of these people who just got access to Medicaid in August, September, these funding runs out. It's the same thing with daycare. So this is the stories they do not tell. And they could have instead of giving $400 million, $800 million to private school vouchers that discriminate against the people that they want to come to these schools, they could have gave teachers a 15-20% raise and funded early childhood education. And they still had money to give to their voucher program, but they want to supersede. They want to give all of that money. And then they're going to try to use their narrative is they're going to try to use the funding from gambling to fund this early childhood education. And what they're doing, they're gambling with our children's future. They're gambling with early childhood education. They're gambling with all of the children that they claim they love so much in their pro-life stance. But again, we could talk for hours about that, but we didn't come to just talk about that this evening. But we're going to continue to remind everyone, please do your research, do your homework, find out. You can go to the North Carolina General Assembly and you can find out their calendars on there. These bills, sometimes they're tricky to read, but if you spend a little time on there, you can search around and find out what people are doing. You can find out how people vote, where they stand, where they're at on all of these issues. So take time, do some research, and find out this information on your own.
Please understand that this is just something that we are passionate about, like this whole voting, democracy, the least of these, not being. So it is never our intention to mislead. Just want to say that. It is never our intention to mislead, but sometimes we could possibly get things wrong. So I am willing to go back and look at things, but we don't intentionally intend to mislead. Let me just say that. So don't come for me on my Facebook posts.
Oh yeah.
Don't tell it. Okay. All right. Okay. So let's do that. And also, I want to say that, we look back at what we say is history, which the 1964 Civil Rights Act, like that seems like we say that's history, but my mama was already 12. My mama is still here with me. So when we are going through these things and it seems like it is so far behind us, it's not that far behind us. And it is, again, right now before us. So when you look at these things and they show you these videos in black and white because they want you to think that it is so long ago. And oftentimes I always wonder, what were the people doing? The people that I know, what was my family doing at that time to make for a better future for us now? So yes, that is one of the reasons why I am so passionate about this, because when my grandchildren ask me, what is it that you were doing when they were taking away women's rights? What is it that you were doing when they were dismantling the public education system? What is it that you were doing when someone was telling us to our face that he was going to get in office and never leave. Tell me what you were doing. And I want to have an answer for them. Now, and everybody can do something. Everybody don't want to be in the streets, but everybody can write the legislature.
Yes.
Everybody can tell somebody to go vote. Everybody can give $10 to a candidate who they think is going to have their best interest at heart. And for the people who say they want to just burn it down and let it start over, this is it. This is what you can do, because right now, every seat in the United States House of Representatives is up.
Everyone.
That's how you burn it down. You get rid of the people who are there that you don't like. Every seat is up. If you are here in North Carolina, vote. These seats are up. So you don't have to literally let it burn down and melt and let someone come in the office and you know that they're trying to dismantle. Again, every week we talk to you about Project 2025. If you have not glanced over that, it's 900 pages, but take the Cliff's Notes. If you have not looked over that Project 2025 to find out, they're telling us to our face what it is that they're going to do.
Yes.
We must listen to them. So that is again, we try to be in the know. We don't mislead. I fact check things before I put it out. I don't need you to send people fact checking. But it's cool. But just know they will be, they're going to get handled over there.
Exactly.
They're going to get handled on that page. Okay?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Now, I feel like since we're in our remote studio, we don't have all of our sound, our special effects. Okay. But I feel like now we should play the Aubrey voice that says, the views expressed on At the Helm with Kelli and Wayne are strictly theirs. It's not their family, not their church,
not their job, none of that.
It is not the views of even the guests that they're bringing on, because we do have a guest for you tonight. We're going to be talking about relationships with your adult children. Now, right now, as we speak, we are in a space with two of our adult children.
Yes.
We are cohabitating together for a few days. Yes. With these children. And so Vernita, we're going to bring her on. We've known her for several years. If you all remember when we did After the I Do's, she is the dynamic trailblazer who put that together. She is a relationship I'm going to call her a guru. She can come on.
She is.
We're going to call her a guru. She is just an amazing, amazing talent. And she's going to speak to us tonight about, what do we do with these people who used to be little people? And now pretty much, and we don't want to say it, but they're kind of our equals. Like, we have children that are parenting children.
That's true.
What do we do? What do we do? So anyway, we're going to bring her up. Her name is Vernita Griffith. Please welcome her. We don't have our sound effects, but
we do have our own clapping. Yay! Yay!
So, hi, Vernita.
Hello, Wilhelms. How are you
doing?
Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We are excited. I'm always excited to be in your presence, because it is just, there's just an aura there. Like, it's just love and light. Always.
Yes. Always.
And so we're just glad to have you here tonight. And we know that you are going to empower us. Like we said, we have a few days with these adult children. Who,
yes. Yes.
So we're gonna just jump right in. We're gonna have you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into this relationship work that you do.
Oh, goodness. Well, first of all, the feeling is mutual. When I am in your presence, I'm like, oh, so it's great. You all are fun and loving and all the good stuff. So thank you for having me. How did I get into relationships? Well, I'm going to give you the Cliff version, the Cliff Notes. Basically, Ken, my husband, we've been married now 26 years.
Yay!
Yay! Yay! We've been married 26 years, and we met in January back in 1997, and we married in September. So you can imagine we didn't know each other too well. We didn't date, And so we got married basically. And year number 7, we hit a wall. We needed to figure out how to make it work so that we were happy and married, because we had committed to staying together.
Yeah.
But we didn't put that little caveat in there that we were going to be kind of happy staying together. So we went to work, we went to therapy, we went to training, we went to workshops, retreats, we did everything. And I fell in love with the work and took the training a little bit further and further and further. And now I just drag Ken along with me everywhere. Everywhere I go.
We know about the dragon.
Praying for you, brother Ken. Praying for you, brother.
It's my passion. He does the work with me, but I am more the mouthpiece. I am the extrovert. He's the introvert, and we are comfortable in our spaces. So
yes, it works.
It works for us. It works for us. Yep.
I've seen you all together, and he is the most supportive. Like, I can tell. Like, you lay out the plan, and then Ken is the executor. Like, he can get it done, and it works.
That's right. That's right. Yep. That's Ken. I appreciate him.
So we know that you could speak to us on any relationship topic, but tonight we chose, because we're kind of empty nesters, and so we're maneuvering. We have a boomeranger who's come back, but for the most part we're empty nesters, and so we're just kind of maneuvering this part of our lives where our children they're adults. Like, our baby is 26. That's the baby.
Yes.
That's the baby.
Yeah.
And so we just wanted to just kind of have some conversations about the best way to engage and to keep relationships with our adult children intact, because sometimes that is a challenge. Mm-hmm. And so let us know, what are some common challenges that parents and adult children face?
Okay. Well, first, let me qualify this a little bit. Were you going to ask me something else?
No, I was going to finish the question.
Okay.
Okay. What are some common challenges that parents and adult children face in maintaining a healthy relationship? And how can they overcome these challenges together?
Okay. So first, let me qualify this a little bit. My concentration has been romantic and intimate relationships. And as a certified relationship coach, of course, that encompasses all relationships. I've had personal experience with having adult children and challenging relationships. So I look at it from kind of both sides of the coin, I guess, from the certified relationship coach side and then the parent side. My two, Ken and I have 4 together, but I'll speak to my 2 just in case they're watching. I'm going to speak to just my 2 are 43 and 40, and they are fully grown, but they're still adult children. I find that
you look amazing, by the way, to say that you have children that are 43.
Yeah, I'm
like you can't be much more than 43.
I
digress. Go ahead.
So, but thank you. So I'll say the top 2. There are a lot of challenges that parents face with their adult children, a lot. But I'll say the top 2 would be miscommunication and misunderstanding. And I think number 1, if I could say 1 and 2, would be different expectations about their roles and responsibilities.
Yeah.
What I find is, I think what as parents, and I'm going to talk to you all because I'm going to talk to me at the same time. I think as parents, what is difficult for us to embrace is the fact that our children, and we're talking about adult children, have had the opportunity to not only get advice or parenting from us, but they've grown into this media, this internet, this TikTok, this Google everything age where they don't really need us as much. Like, kids don't have to call you and say, "Ma, what do you put in your recipe for the apple pie?" Now they could, because yours is so slamming good.
Yeah.
But they don't have too, because they see so many TikToks that make it look so good. It could be better than ours, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that puts a different spin on the relationship when we, in our mind as parents, really feel like our kids should need us. They really, even though they're adults, we still have stuff to tell them. Well, we're not the only one that can tell them stuff. And I think as parents, we have to recognize that, and that puts us in a different position, where we are not the only voice that they can consult, and they will consult. So with those two top challenges, of course, communication is always the key, right? It's always the key. And I'll say one thing, because I say this in intimate relationships, it's the same, is active listening. And people throw that term around, active listening, and they think it means that, sometimes people believe it just means you're like leaning in, like I'm really, really listening to you. And you are listening. Active listening is really listening. It is listening without preparing the answer while you're listening.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So
and a lot of times we do that. We listen to respond, and not listen to listen.
And that's not what you're supposed to do. You're not supposed to listen to respond. You're really supposed to listen to connect, to understand, and to offer empathy and grace and all of that good stuff. But you listen with an open mind, and not to constantly thinking about, oh, well, she said this, I'm going to say that. Of course, when the person is speaking, another key thing is for them not to say 5 or 6 things in one run-on sentence, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you got to keep it short. But I think that is the key to overcoming that challenge. First is active listening, really listening, not to respond, but to really understand and connect. And then, of course, just being able to have those candid conversations. As I don't know about you all, but for me, I wasn't able to speak to my parents the way my children speak to me. I just
no, ma'am.
Okay, let's understand that. So I feel like they have such an advantage, right, that we did not have, because my kids and I could talk about anything, where I wouldn't dare talk about certain things with my parents. Like, I just wouldn't. So I think with that ability, now you should really use that opportunity to have candid conversations. And us as parents, remember that in order to keep that open line of communication, that we can't like clutch our pearls when they say certain things, or, you know, we want them to be respectful, right? Of course, but we have to really listen and understand that the times are different. So the conversation is going to be different. I hope that answered the question.
Yeah, it did speak to the challenges, those outside influences and the communicate. It does speak to the challenges, but you brought up another good point, and that was cultural and generational differences. So we have 4 children, and even in the 4 of them, we have 3 millennials, and we have a Gen Zer, I think.
Okay.
So even the children are in different generations, and it's like you said, like there are things that they do and say in front of us, and it's getting worse, because the grandchildren also, and it's not like they do or say things, but they play things on these telephones.
Yeah,
that we would
that TikTok and those videos.
Why do you think it's okay for you to play that?
It makes
so. What are how can the cultural and generational differences impact the parent and adult-child relationships? And then how can we bridge those gaps?
So I hate to say that as the parent, and whatever letter we are, I don't know what we are.
We Gen X. I think we're Gen X.
I don't know what I am.
I don't know. You said you were baby boomer, but I don't believe it. I don't know.
Yeah, I am then. I'm a boomer. Um, but whatever we are, I think we have to be more inclusive and embrace the new generation, just like our parents had to do us back in the day. Of course, it was totally different because, of course, it made our parents go, like, I don't know about your parents. Again, my parents, when I'm going to use my older sister, she wanted to wear afro. And my father was dead set against her wearing afro for some reason. It just reminded him like of Angela Davis and the Black Panther Party and all of that stuff. And he just didn't want her to go that way. He wouldn't even let her have a pick. So she would pick her hair with a fork, like a kitchen fork. And she would do it when she left the house, and she'd like pick her hair up. And I think we have to allow them to be who they are today. And I think that's the more difficult part. I really want to say that the onus is on us as parents. I know, for example, my grandchildren, the boys are 11 and almost 12, right? So both of them 11 today, right? That's crazy. Anyway, but both of them got earrings in their ear. Now, my father would turn over right now if the boys had earrings. One of them got, in both ears. And and the other the older one has locks. And of course, I thought your hair should be clean cut and stuff, but I've evolved, right? Even my son had locks when he was younger. And I said to myself, he wanted locks. I let him do it. And I said, let him express himself while he's young, because when he goes into corporate America, he's going to cut that mess off, But as, of course, time went on, he did cut his hair, but I was embracing that change. So I think a lot of it has to do with how we relate to them. And we really need to allow them to be who they are without being disrespectful. And I think that disrespect part, like listening to the music and things like that, you have to voice that. Now you say it's okay to do that, but not in this house or not in front of me. And let's agree on that. You know what I mean? I think we have to set those kind of boundaries. And I think that will be okay, because we're still giving them the freedom to do what they want to do, right? But certain things you're just not going to do. Like, you could smoke whatever you smoke, but you can't do it in here, right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
and I think you said a key word when you said you evolve, and I think that's where we have to do that, because really you're talking about your dad and the afros. It's like every generation had problems with their children's hair. Absolutely. With their music, with their clothes. Mm-hmm. So it's not. So we say that we're very different, but we're really the same,
right?
And so it's that evolving that and I think especially for us, for Black parents, and sending your children out in the world, it was about respectability. And so there was the older generation. It was really about respectability. I'm going to say politics, because you would hope that if they had on a suit and tie, that they would be okay, that people would see them as human. But we know that didn't always happen. And so that's where I am. Like, I know that there were some people who were in uniform who served this country who were still lynched.
In their uniform.
In their uniform. I know that there were people who had on 3-piece suits going down to the lunch counters, and they were still spat on.
That's right.
And so again, I think our generation maybe moved a little bit away from the respectability. Like, we're still in that generation where you pull your pants up, but if you don't pull your pants up, you're still human.
That's right.
You still should be treated as a human being. Yeah. So it's funny, but it's hard. Yeah. It's hard that evolving piece.
It is hard,
because you want your children to be safe.
Right.
That's the first thing for me. I want them to be safe.
Right.
I don't really care if people who outside who don't know them, if they, I don't know, I don't care if they're respectable to them, but I don't care. Whatever their ideas of what they are should not be based on if his pants is all the way up past his navel or not.
Right.
They're still human, so
right.
We start go with that.
And I think that was part of, and for those who are joining us this evening, we have Miss Vanita Griffith on here this evening, and we are talking about adult parents and adult parent
And adult child.
and adult children relationships. Yeah. So we're talking about all adults, but the separation between adults and adult children in that relationship. So if anyone is on, please, if you have questions, send us those questions in the chat. Send us questions if you have any questions for Miss Bernita. But I was going to say, I think that was part of what Kelli was saying. I think part of that was, give respect to earn respect. So I think when we send those kids out, it was like, hey, be respectful so people in turn respect you. But we found out in this country that it's always been a two-way street, but now it's really being exposed even more. And now it doesn't matter how respectful you are. People are going to treat you based on your gender, your color, your religion, whatever. They're going to treat you the way they want to treat. So I think there's some pushback now to say, okay, I'm not going to be respectful if I'm not going to get respect. And that's valid. That's valid. When you feel like you're the only one trying to give that respect and you never get it back. So I think that's definitely a challenge. So we always want to do for our kids and give them the world. And I can't tell you how many times I have told myself, I'm done. I'm not doing one more thing. And I end up doing 1, 2, 3, 4 more, because we always want to do and do and do and do. So how do we have children to appreciate what we have done? And so how can the adult children express their gratitude and appreciation for their parent support, but while also asserting their own independence? Because that's a challenge sometimes.
So let me back up and just make one more comment to that last question. Is when Kelli, you said something about we've always had issues with their hair, the music, the clothes. All of those things are forms of expression, and so I think we have to be very careful when we squelch that, because we could be squelching Picasso, right? We don't know that. And so if this is how they express themselves, even as adults, we have to allow them to do that. We should be more concerned with our children not hurting someone. You know what I mean? Like they're acting right. They act.
Yeah. You want to make sure they're good people.
Yes, good people. Absolutely. No matter what their hair looks like, nappy and stuff, because it does something to me.
Yeah, you can have purple and green hair. You can have long hair, short hair. No hair. You can have clothes on. If they like the way they look, that really makes them, better to themselves. But again, good is not described in their outer, appearance.
That's right. I just want to say that, but thank you for that. So how can adult children express gratitude and appreciation for their parents? Okay, so this one hits a home a little bit. And so I've had to figure this out. And so I'm happy to answer this question because it was a major aha, especially working with couples. So, I do for my children as well. And I don't do for them as much anymore, to be honest, just in case they listen and they be like, no, she don't. I don't. But I felt like, as much as I've done for them, I felt like they didn't show appreciation enough, right? Like they don't understand, like you moving this around to do this and give them that and take them here or whatever. And they just act like it's normal. Like you're supposed to do that to their 32-year-old selves, right? It's like, no. So a couple of things. The first thing is, I want to say it's part of the training, right? It's how we train them. And so I know we both could say, I train my kid to say thank you. I did. I promise you I did. So why when they get this old, they just act like, yeah, thanks, Mom. You know what I'm saying? You just want a little bit more.
Really?
When they're adults, and of course you're an adult, this is the perfect time for you all to figure out your love language. A lot of times we use love language in our I know you all know what the love language, the 5 love languages are, right? We use that in our intimate relationships. Quality time. Do you know yours, Wayne? You gotta take the test.
No, I mean,
I'm gonna tell them what it is. No,
yeah. I normally just let her tell me what it
is. Okay. She should know. That's right. She should know. And as long as it feels good to you, you don't need to know what name it is. It just feels good. What's Wayne's, Kelli?
I think Wayne's is words of affirmation. Like he does a lot of good things, and he doesn't really need gifts. I think he likes the quality time that he's drug into, but I think words of affirmation. Just knowing that he's, just tell him that, hey, I see you. You're doing a good job.
Okay. I think we don't use that with our kids a lot of times, right?
No.
And I think that's important because, again, they could say thank you, just like, Wayne could say thank you to you and you could say thank you to Wayne. They could say thank you verbally and it's not hitting, right? You need something else. So their thank you to you, Kelli, would be, Mom, let's sit down and watch a movie together, whatever that quality time that you like. And that would be Ma, I really appreciate you doing such and such for me. I want to spend some time with you. That's a thank you. And when they speak your love language, you will feel appreciated. So a lot of times they could be showing you appreciation. It's just not your love language. And so I think that should be done when you're adults. I'm talking about you're an adult and your child is an adult now. Find out your love language and talk about that and let them know this is my love language and share that. Let them share theirs. And so that you can see. I think the other piece to that is, as a parent, we can't do too much. We can't do too much. You gotta, because they're grown. And I was always of the mindset for me that I was raising a man. Did I lose y'all? Y'all went away. I think I'm on here by myself, y'all. Okay, somebody just text me that they see me, but then they can't. That's right. Thank you, Latrice, for telling me. I was always conscious that I was raising a man who I wanted to be able to take care of children. So with that lesson in my mind, I tried to teach him to be more independent, less dependent on me so that he could take care of his children and, be an adult, be a man. And I think I did that because he does great. So, yeah, Kelli and I don't know how I should finish the show now. They're not here. I don't know what I should do. And then they became independent. Yes. Oh, wait. Kelli's talking? Do y'all see Kelli? Do you see Kelli and Wayne on there? Because I see they're still talking. Oh, you don't see Kelli, you just see me? Oh, God. All right. I don't know what I should. Y'all have any questions? This is not my show. Let me text them. All right, people, we having some technical difficulties, obviously. I lost you. Oh my goodness, I don't know. They asked me some questions. So I will just answer. There they are.
We were trying to get back. You were doing a good job.
Lord mercy.
So this is one of the what happens when you're in a remote studio.
Yeah.
So,
You see, I'm sweating. I got all hot.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, mercy, they gone. Let me get it.
and I don't know if you can see the messages. Laura Miller Eckhart sent a message. She says, I feel that as our children get older and we get older, that they feel that we don't need as much from them.
Need as much.
Therefore,
Like
we should give them more. Like while I'm reading it, you can't.
I need them to set up my electronics. I need them to do all kinds of stuff. Cut the grass. What do you mean they don't?
So, Vanita, I do want to say that we were talking about gratitude and how children should show gratitude. That is one of the biggest lessons that I learned from my children. Right? Mm-hmm. Because they may not ever say thank you. So I'm not getting ready to go out here and buy you a pair of shoes because I think it's gonna make you like me.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do things for you. And this is what I have to treat the adults in my life the way my children have taught me. Don't do things for people because it's transactional. Because you may not get anything back.
Mm-hmm.
You do things for people, including your children, that you want to do. Like when they're 6, okay, I gotta feed you. I gotta feed you because you're 6. But when you're 26, I ain't gotta make that Taco Bell run. Like I don't have to do it. But if I do it, I'm gonna do it because I want to do it, not because I'm expecting you to then come to my room and let's watch a couple of episodes of Modern Family because that's my love language.
Right.
They may not do it, and so we always feel like they're not grateful enough.
Mm-hmm.
We always feel.
What would grateful look like to you? What would that look like?
And so for me, it would look like, okay, not just saying thank you, but the next time I ask you to do something, which is not often,
right?
If I ask you to do something, don't give me an excuse because I know your schedule.
Or act like
you doing?
Or act like we weren't you to do
that. Don't act like we're inconveniencing you, and don't tell me, oh, I don't feel like. Do you think I feel like doing so it looks like I said, a transactional because I would do this for you. Mm-hmm. I expect because one, I birthed you, I gave you this life, right? I expect that you would
work hard on them,
right? You know what I'm saying? Body got out of whack. 9 months, I almost died. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a lot. It's a lot for Black women to give birth.
That's right.
So that ain't no small feat.
That's right.
Don't say thank you. You don't think like. But I do expect like that. I don't have to always say, "Why can't you do that?" And again, it's not like, we're self-sufficient. I can still drive myself. I still go to work. Like there's things I can still do. If I'm asking you to do something for me, it's because maybe I don't have the time right this minute. Mm-hmm. Maybe I need it. Maybe I just need a little more. Maybe I just don't feel like it. And I know you know how to do it. I know you can make a good strawberry cake. So can you make me a cake? It ain't my birthday. Mm-hmm. I just want a cake. Mm-hmm. So don't tell me you don't feel like it. Yeah. Oh. Because until you were old enough to do for you think I felt like bending over that tub, scrubbing bodies? You think I felt like that? I ain't felt like that. You think I felt like getting up at 7:00 on a Saturday morning to go sit on a soccer? I'm triggered. Now I'm triggered.
Okay. I see. Raina's like, oh, you shouldn't ask her that question.
okay, Benita, this is where you, as the professional, step in, fix it.
Wayne literally was patting my leg like that. Like, calm down.
Yeah, we're gonna get charged for this session here because you're gonna.
She needs to let that out. She needs to let that out.
But I do think it is important that we, in a relationship, that we don't have that transactional relationship. Because anytime we begin to keep score, that means somebody wins and somebody loses. And that's what we don't want in relationship.
Absolutely.
The relationship is supposed to be win-win. And, that's the goal. And so, that transactional piece is difficult when we begin to do those things, to expect something back. Or again, when we start keeping that score of, well, I'm 3 up on you. So,
you don't want to do that.
Yeah. So I think Miss Laura wanted us to read her.
It's on the screen.
To read it again. So So again, she says she feels that as children get older, and we get older, they feel that we don't need as much as them. Therefore, we should give them more.
We don't need as much as them. We should.
That we don't need as much money. Is that what she's saying? Like,
we don't need as much anything. Therefore, we should give them more.
Yeah, but what is it that we don't need as much of? We don't need.
Could be, maybe.
I can see if there's like, well, you ain't got 5 kids to feed no more. Let me have that $50 a day.
Well, but again, I think all of this goes back to communication, right? You have to let them know. I think, it's difficult conversations sometimes that we have to have with our grown children about what we need at different stages in our lives. Like what I needed 10 years ago is not what I need now. I may need the same amount of stuff. It's just different stuff. She said, please read my chat again.
Oh, I did a while ago.
Oh, okay.
And it could be, it could be even, when it comes to, watching their children. So when it comes to the grandchildren, maybe they feel like, hey, y'all are older. Y'all don't need to be traveling like y'all used to. So stay home, watch my kids.
What you doing on a Friday night?
It could be a line of many things that they think, that we've kind of, lived our life and done all that we have done. Now it's time to kind of sit back and let them live and support them. We don't need as much travel and
where did they get that thinking from? Where did they get that thinking? Where did that come from?
Yeah, that I'm not sure, but
probably us.
Yeah,
I mean, you teach people how to treat you for sure.
I was getting ready to say. I was getting ready to say. I used to tell my kids as soon as they left the house, they're going to be calling me on the phone. Where in the world are you? Because I'm going to be gone all the time. I put that in their head. So where did they think I'm sitting like the grandmother sitting in the rocket chair waiting to put the babies on my lap? I knew my mother wasn't that kind of mother or grandmother. I knew I wasn't going to be that grandma. I just wasn't.
And so, Benita, that's another thing. So you heard me say that my mom she's still with us and I have grandchildren. So my mom does a lot with my grandchildren.
Wow.
And so just imagine that split. Like, so so my grandchildren are now, their generation is now called Gen Alpha. My mom is definitely a boomer. There's 4 generations between her and these great grandchildren.
Wow.
And she also has to deal with my daughter, who is an adult child, right? She's not only my adult, she's also her adult grandchild.
Correct.
So you have this, like, there's a whole dynamic there. And so I guess the question is, like, how do we work through those dynamics? How do you, and again, because my mom, I don't see her evolving. Like, it is what it is.
Oh yeah.
And she is doing a fantastic job, because amazing. I mean, she's actually raised some grandchildren.
Wow.
Yeah. And so, but that generation gap, that culture and that generation gap that we was talking about, we talk about it with parents. But my mom is also dealing with these same ungrateful
Yeah, and they want her to do TikTok dances every day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well,
imagine doing a TikTok with your great grandma.
that is epic. I think that's lovely. That's great. I mean, that is fantastic. They'll have those memories forever. I think they need to be trained to know that she is what they call the elder, right? She is the queen. She is going to be who she's going to be. She's not going to bend, mold, shape, or do nothing that she doesn't want to do. And they should respect and honor that. Period. No conversation about that. There's too much of a gap between your children and your grandchildren and your mom. Too much. And she's the queen right now. So it's like literally she sits on the throne and everybody bows to her. Period. No conversation about it. And they need to be trained that way, that is the elder, because when you become the great grandmother, those great grandchildren need to do the same for you. No questions asked. So if you say no smoking in my house, pull your pants up, I don't want to see no braids, that's how they need to come to the queen. That's how they have to present themselves to the queen. There's no conversation about that. There's no debating. Your mother is a queen. And if she does a TikTok, they better honor that they have the opportunity to do a flipping TikTok with their great grandmother.
Who is making sure that they get, on the bus, off the bus, have a snack. Like she's a parent.
She's
a parent.
That is beautiful. That is beautiful that she does that. But I think whatever she wants, they should do whatever it is. And that's
when we go back to this gratitude. Like nobody should have to tell you like that. That's when we talk about when we talk about how do you show gratitude, like it should be a no-brainer. It really should be a no-brainer.
Yeah. Well, if that lady needs something, they ought to be about 10 people that at the door saying, what you need.
Right. But they have to be trained that way. That's not innate, right? You have to train them to be that way. Like that, how are they going to know that she's the queen if we don't train them to treat her like the queen and the delicate flower that she is? You can't just bring great grandma any old thing. You have to come to her correct, right? And that's a conversation.
Yeah, and it's kind of like Kelli said earlier. We can't expect others to have the same reactions that we do. And I guess people can be grateful in different ways, and just the way that we react and the actions and outward response that we would do, we can't, I guess, extend that to anyone else.
That's absolutely right.
Yes, a couple of people on Facebook, one of our Facebook listeners, I said they will be glad when their kids are grown.
Oh,
I mean, and people say that, you think you do, but it's just another level of worry.
It's worse because you can't tell them what to do and punish them. You can't punish them for not doing what you said.
Right.
So I think
I can tell sometimes when I say to my children, like I'm giving them, it's like a scolding. It is, and they act like they're listening, but he going home. You know what I'm saying? Like he doesn't really have to listen, but I appreciate that he acts like he is while he's at least in my face.
Right. And you feel good saying it.
It is.
Yeah, like you got it off your chest. Like I did my job as a mother. Like I told him, even though he's 30 or whatever, I told him. And I'm telling you, it was a difficult transition for me to allow my kids to be adults without me telling them everything. And so I learned to sit back and let them ask me questions. And then I was surprised how they would ask me stuff like, about finances or about, just about buying a car or whatever it is, without me, you need to do this. Now, I'm going to tell you, I still every now and then, tell them you should do this, you should do that. And I'm known for saying, I didn't teach you this. I forgot to teach you this raising you. So let me tell you this now.
Mhm.
This one of the things I forgot.
We're almost out of time, and I did want to get into that. Like we have to give each other grace. Like Wayne
Yes.
and I were in our early 20s when we got married. Can you imagine the things we didn't know? And then we bring little people. I
Oh,
already
yeah.
had a little person, but then you bring little people into this dynamic where you are still learning yourself. I was
Yes.
in my early 20s.
Yes.
I
Yes.
knew nothing. And
Yes.
so I think and this may have to be another show. We have to offer each other grace.
Oh,
Like the
yes.
children, and we have to, as adults, we have to be humble enough to go and apologize to our children for what we didn't know. We didn't know this. But again, that's another conversation. So yeah, parents, I think that's it. You have to everybody has to extend everybody grace. Everybody has to be respectable to one another. I have to understand that he is no longer 6.
No.
He's 6, and I can't like threaten him and give him the eye because I don't work no more. I don't work for 26 years old.
True. That's true.
So
And
you evolve and you put other things in your toolbox.
right.
That works. So we're out of time.
Laura
Renita.
had a good comment here.
I
I think Laura had a good comment when we were talking a while ago about talking to the
Oh,
group of children, and they may go home, but I do believe, that they do hear, even though they seem to be not listening, and how many times have we been told something that was good for us? Well, I don't want nobody telling me I'm wrong, and so and better advice. So we hear it, but at that moment we act like we didn't hear it, but
That's
we
right.
really appreciated it after we heard it. And
Yeah.
so yeah, Laura, I think that is definitely they hear it, even though it seems like they may not be listening. And we probably gonna say it whether they want to hear it or not.
That's true. It makes us feel better, right?
Yeah, I mean sometimes we still the parent.
That's
You know,
right.
no matter we can we still your parent regardless.
Yes. Yes.
Renita, we appreciate you so much for coming on, for being the solo host for a few minutes and carrying the show.
Yes, you did.
We appreciate you carrying us
Yes,
until we can get back with the technical difficulties. You were amazing. You did an amazing job. Tell us how we can support you, where we can find you, how can people follow you. Tell us all the things.
Okay. Well, of course, I'm on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok under TRI Team Unlimited. TRI Team Unlimited on all those social media platforms. And same thing, TriTeamUnlimited.com. That's where I am. That's where I live.
Awesome. So it's called At the Helm with the whole nautical thing. We normally talk about embarking is how we start the show. Disembarking is how we get off. If you've ever been on a cruise, and I know you have because you put together some great ones, they welcome you on. It's like a nice process. They love you. They want you to eat, go get something to drink. But when it's time to get off, get your suitcase. If you didn't put it outside, that's on you. Drag it down these steps, get off. So that is kind of where we are. How we end our show is just a quick disembarkation where you offer quick advice, either on this topic or any topic.
Okay. Well, I would say, like I would say to any intimate couple, is to have conversation with active listening. That is so important. It's the key to solving everything, absolutely everything.
Communication is key. Thank you, Renita. And you don't go. You can stay here for a little bit. If you are here, thank you all for joining us. If you have not liked or followed our page at the Helm with Kelli and Wayne, please do so. And Renita, you asked me about our YouTube. I didn't even look at. I went to that YouTube, and I think me and Wayne are the only subscribers. So if you are here, if you are listening, go to our YouTube page at the Helm with Kelli and Wayne. Subscribe to that. We don't use it. Well, the videos are there. So this whole social media thing is us freaking the algorithm. So we just need eyeballs and followers and subscribers, so that we can continue to bring you this excellent content. Just because the YouTube eyeballs are not there doesn't mean that the content is not good. And we're going to continue to bring this content
Yeah.
We appreciate everyone who tunes into us every other week on Thursday night at 8 o'clock. But please like, follow, subscribe, all the things on here. So my disembarkation advice is what we talked about. If whether it be your children, your spouse, your coworkers, you teach people how to treat you.
Mm-hmm.
So do not be afraid to set boundaries and enforce them. You're worthy.
Mine is to love your children. And sometimes that's not easy.
Mm-hmm.
But love them because they need to know that they're loved. Um, Children need to know that they're loved. They need to know that they're cared for. And I think sometimes it gets difficult to know that you can love someone and still be upset and maybe even disappointed at the same time. But they never need to know. They never need to lose the feeling to know that they are loved.
Right.
And we tell our kids, we're not trying to have a house full, but you need to know that at the end, before it all goes downhill and before all go, we got you back. And I want all of them to know that, and I think we need to let our kids know that, no matter what they do, we're gonna love them regardless. But
And if you need to come home,
yeah,
your room is now a sewing room. But hey,
yeah. I mean, we turned your room into something else.
Your room is not a bedroom, but you can come lay your head here until we figure things out.
Yeah, but
don't be out there stressed.
Yeah, and I think we need to let them know that this love that we have for our children is not conditional. Mm-hmm. It's not based on how you act, how you do. And yes, we want those good things, but no, ultimately, we're gonna love you no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
And that's good advice. Love your children.
Yeah. Oh,
all right.
My ship takes a little longer to get off of than everybody else. I'm that type of person. I like to meet all of the people who was on my ship, shake their hand, ask what kind of time it. Yeah.
So thank you all for tuning in. Join us again in 2 weeks where we will, be engaging in other conversation that is going to help us through this journey that we call life. So
yes,
follow, subscribe, and tell a friend.
Yes, thank you. So Ms. Benita, you hold on just a little bit, and we're gonna get out of here. See, with this remote
the June 29th thing?
We're this remote location has not all of the same effects as our normal studio, so it's a little challenging, but we do what we do.